Hello and welcome to another exciting Breakfast with Unity. I'm your host, Max Moreau, and today we are going to be playing around with Unity 5.0's new audio feature, AudioMixers. So this is actually pretty exciting, especially if you're into audio at all, because this provides a lot of effects and capabilities that you can do to audio as a post-processing effect, as well as it gives you the ability to do things that were kind of difficult before, like set up volume sliders for different types of effects. You could do it before, you just had to write your own scripting system to support it. So this makes it a lot easier. So what we're first going to do is I'm going to base this on the Camera Shake episode, which is a really early episode. It doesn't look that great. It just has explosions that go off. But I think I just wanted something that would have a sound effect, and then we're going to put some music stuff over it, and also have it so that we can adjust the volumes of these values. So I'm going to duplicate this by hitting Command D, or Control D if you're on Windows, and we're going to duplicate it and throw it into our new audio mixer thing here. And I'm going to duplicate the fireworks here, and we're going to put it in here as well. I'm just going to go ahead and rename this to Audio Mixer, and we're going to call this just Fireworks. I also have a couple files already in here. These are in the project. If you download the zip file or update from Git, you will see these already in the project. These are just some really, really terrible loops that I made. They're CC0. I don't care about them at all. I just made them very quickly and on a Korg Chaosilator. So yeah, they're very rough, and so I apologize in advance. But it's something to play with. So I'm going to open up this audio mixer scene. And the first thing I'm going to do really quickly is I'm just going to make it so I think this cube, even though it says cube, is what spawns the fireworks. There we go. I'm just going to make sure it's spawning our new fireworks. I don't want to break the previous project by changing the wrong things. So if we hit play right now, all you should have is audioless fireworks that just explode and make no sound. First, I'm going to just make it so that these things will actually make a sound. I'm just going to throw explode on these fireworks. And just by doing that should be enough. So, there we go. So now we've got some explosions. Cool. Next, I'm going to create an object. We're going to call this music. And I'm going to go ahead and throw A, B, C, and D on here. These are just the different music tracks here. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, so it didn't want to do multiple audio clips for some reason. I know that you can actually do that, but I guess just dragging it in, it assumes that you just want to change the clip. So let's go ahead and just make it separate components. We'll just put them underneath. I think that'll look better anyway. So it doesn't have to be like this. We could have coaxed it into allowing multiple audio sources on one object, but I'm just going to do it here. So we're going to create an empty. Actually, I wanted to create an empty child is what I wanted to do. Create empty child. There we go. We'll call this A. Throw A on there. This will actually probably be easier to work with ultimately to have different objects, honestly. B, C, and D. And so B, C, and D. And if we play it, well, you should get my horrible audio for a second. Alright, cool. So now let's look at audio mixers. So we're going to create an audio mixer. Now, audio mixers do not go in the scene. They are a project file. So we're going to create a audio mixer over here, and I'm going to call this the music mixer. We could do all of this in one audio mixer. It has groups and stuff to support that. I'm just going to have a separate music mixer and sound effects mixer because this is also valid. You may want to set things up differently depending on how you like to set things up. But you'll see how quickly and easily we can get things attached and working on this thing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create some groups under this music mixer. We're going to create a group called A group called B, a group called C, and a group called D. Now, by default, it creates these as subgroups. We're going to actually want these to be all at the same level, and I'm going to go ahead and reorder them so that they're in alphabetical order. So now we've got a master and 4 groups, A through D. And these are going to represent our different tracks on the music. So the way we associate the sound effects with it is in output, it says none, audio mixer group. So we can actually assign these to an audio mixer group. So I'm going to assign A to A, B to B, C to C, and D to D. So we don't confuse ourselves. I could have assigned A to B if I wanted to, but I don't know. It would be really hard to keep track of what was going on then. So now if we hit play, and then we click this little arming thing, edit in play mode, you can see that we can adjust the overall music of the track. Oh yeah, I forgot to set something really important. So all these should be looping. There we go. So if we hit play now, and we edit, I can adjust the volume of everything, and we can fade that in and out, and we can also adjust the individual volume of each track. So this allows you to get some easy mixing set up really quickly. I believe these values can be animated. I haven't actually tried that one. We are going to show how to set them up via script because it's actually tricky. It's not hard. It's just it required something that I wasn't expecting. So we have that set up. I'm also going to set up our sound effect. So on the firework, there's this audio source sound effect. This doesn't have a mixer group, so I'm going to create a new. I'm going to create a new audio mixer. As I said, we could also just have this as a group on the existing audio mixer. I just want to show that you can have multiple audio mixers as well. So I'm going to call this FX. And our FX mixer is not going to have any particular group. I'm just going to assign the master to our effects here. So we're just going to go audio mixer group. I'm just going to throw this into FX master. So now if we hit play, we can adjust the volume of the sound effects so that, oh yeah, edit in play mode, so that they're louder or softer, just by adjusting this. And this would affect anything that was hooked into those sound effects. So that was easy setup, and you can already see how powerful this is. I didn't go into this, but like if you have things as subgroups, this will mean that the volume of this affects the volumes of this, which affects the volume of this. So it's actually, so if you wanted to group, so if A always had to play when B was around, you could set it up this way so that when A gets muted, it mutes both of them. But you can also make it so that you can individually mute just B. So you got the drums on A there. So you can do all sorts of really fancy setups here. We're just going to keep it simple, but I wanted to show that capability is there. All right, so finally, let's actually look at how we expose this to script, because this is a little bit. It has a couple extra steps that they're interesting. First of all, I did not notice these in the actual script reference for this. The script reference was very light on what was actually exposed. I actually had to go to this exposed audio mixer video. By the way, I think I've mentioned this before. Unity's tutorials are actually quite good. I very much recommend going through all of the 5.0 tutorials, especially since we just moved to 5.0. There's a lot of stuff in there. I haven't gone through them all myself yet, but I have learned a lot through the few that I've viewed. There's a lot of tutorials they have here. You should definitely check them out. They're done more kind of pre-baked than my stuff, but there's a huge amount to learn here. It's very well organized, very well presented. Definitely check them out. So they've got projects and they've got individual stuff. 5.0 tutorials, I'd say, should be your number one priority right now, and then start exploring the other stuff that they have there. So back to what we were doing. So what I learned from there is when we were going. So let's go ahead and show what I was trying to do before. So we're going to create a C# script. We're going to call this adjust audio mixer set volume is what I'm going to call it. And we're going to open this up, And first off, we're audio mixers in a new Unity Engine section, so we have to use using UnityEngine.audio. This is like what we have to do for UnityEngine.ui for using the UI system. Most of the new systems are categorized into this, and I would imagine the old systems will actually slowly move into categories as well, so that you can basically compile sections of this code out of the project. That's not in yet, but that's what they're moving towards. So public audio mixer. Remember, this won't show up unless you have UnityEngine.audio, so if you don't see it showing up, that's probably your problem. Audio mixer, and what we're going to do is an update. I'm going to create a public float volume. And in update, we're going to do mixer.setFloat volume, and the amount is going to be volume. Volume. So this is in the script documentation. Audio mixer. I want to point out why I needed the video stuff here. Oh, whoops, that's not. That's actually the one that had the information. Audio mixer script. Okay, well, I can't find it anymore. Whatever. Anyway, there's a script thing. It basically just says set float, just sets whatever, and it doesn't give you a list of what these things are. And I found out why through the video. So, so this is not going to work. If we attach this to a game object right now, and we're just going to put it. I'm just going to put it on. What should I put it on? Let's put it on the cube, on the music. Sorry. And we attach a mixer in here, and we hit play, and you'll see that we'll get this warning in the message: exposed name does not exist. Volume. So in order to actually adjust the value, you need to expose it first. And so the way that you expose a value in these audio mixers, hopefully I will actually remember this. So you click on what you want to expose. So let's expose the master music adjustment here. And what we're going to do is the attenuation is actually what affects our volume. So attenuation is a fancy sound theory name for this, but it basically means the same thing. Now, keep in mind, this is not like our standard volume stuff on these objects. If we go to we have this volume here, and it goes from 0 to 1, and that represents 1 is as loud as it was when it came in, and 0 is just completely off. So on the mixers here, they actually use a decibel scale. So when we look at our attenuation on music mixer A, we have a volume, and it can be plus 20 decibels or minus 80 decibels. Minus 80 will basically cut out any sound that you could possibly have. Plus 20 will boost it quite a bit. Decimal scale is a logarithmic scale, so keep that in mind. So you're going to have to play with the values. So generally 0 means 100%. Most of the time, you're probably not going to boost audio. You can, but I would avoid it because you'll get clipping and stuff. But you are going to reduce volume a lot. So pretend that negative 80 is 0, and pretend that that 0 is 1 in this case. So what are we doing now? So we're going to actually expose this. So to do this, you click here. Wait, now. You right-click. Okay, even weirder. You right-click the volume thing here, and it says expose volume of A to script. So we click that, and what happens is this little arrow appears. And now if you click over here, it will say expose parameters, and we have one of them, my expose param volume of A. So if you double click this now, double click, I know it's weird, or okay, double slow click, it's like you're trying to rename it. It allows you to rename this thing. So we're going to rename it to I'm going to call this music. I'm just going to call it volume. Master volume is what I'm going to call it, because that's what it is. Oh, wait, that's volume of A, sorry. I'm going to rename it to just A. And then I'm actually going to expose the one that I cared about. I'm going to expose master, expose volume of master script. We're going to go to volume of master and change this to master volume. All right, I guess I could have just called it master. I'm going to do that. I like that better. Can I actually reorganize these? No, naturally can't. Okay. So now we've got this exposed script. So now if we put in master here, it will affect the volume. So if we hit save and hit play now and go to our music script, first we'll note that we're not getting that spam anymore. And second, we'll note that if we adjust this down, it will lower the volume. Perfect. You can see that even at -50, we've already kind of taken all the way down. You can't hear it anymore, but that's because my audio wasn't taking up the full range of the audio there. -80 is probably a good choice for a bottom level. So there we go. Now we've got that exposed. And what else are we going to do? So we've got a few more minutes. I'm going to just very quickly show you how to create a couple sliders. So we're going to do adjust audio mixer volume here, and then I'm going to create another empty game object. We're going to call this FX volume. We're going to call this music volume. And FX volume, we're going to give it the same script, just audio mixer volume, except for this time we're going to give it the FX mixer. And FX mixer has to have master exposed still. So, and I'm going to change the script just so it's a little bit more useful. Let's real quickly. Public string. Actually, I'm going to call this value now instead of volume. Adjust audio mixer values. Just audio mixer value. Value, and then string is value name or parameter name. I'm going to change it to audio mixer parameter. So now we're just going to throw parameter name in here. Save. So now we can go and just say, once this is compile. Oh, the volume does not exist in the current context. That's because I renamed it to value. Save. Alright, there we go. So now we're just going to make this... Did I not make that public? Is that string? Oh, it's because I didn't actually change the name of the script. Sorry. One more thing. Adjust audio mixer parameter. Did I say parameter or parameters? I said parameter. Good. So... what happened here? There it is. Parameter name, master. Parameter name, master. I know that we're just using it for master in both cases. I just wanted to have that. So, so if we go to the FX mixer, we need to make sure that we expose the master parameter. So we're going to click here. We're going to right click, expose volume. You might be able to do it here too. Nope, you can't. Okay, so you have to do it up here. Expose volume of master to script. Rename it to something sensible like master. And now we have the FX thing exposed as well. So now we can adjust the FX and the audio separately. So if I make the FX really loud, it'll be really loud. So let's actually make this useful now, though. So what we're going to do is I'm going to change the script. I'm going to add one more thing to the script. Just audio mixer parameter. I'm going to say this is mostly for testing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in, we're going to add a public void set audio parameter float value new value. And so all I'm going to do is just, since this automatically in update makes these changes, I'm just going to have it change the value here so we can see it in real time. So value equals new value. So what this will allow us to do is we can now create a quick UI. I know that's kind of an oxymoron, but bear with me. So we're just going to create a UI slider. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this slider and move it down slightly so that we have two sliders. And can I just label these directly, or do I have to make a label? I'd have to make a label. We're not going to label them. We're just going to know that the top is music and the bottom is effects. So I'm going to call this music slider. and FX slider. And so what music slider is going to do is we're going to, now they're in the opposite order because of alphabetizing, whatever, I don't care. You'll figure it out. One is one and one is the other. So on value changed, we've done this a couple times, we're going to point our music slider to the music volume, and we're going to give it the function of adjust mixer parameter, dynamic float, set audio parameter. Here it is. And so in order for this to work, we're going to have to make sure that min value and max value are appropriately set. So we're going to set min value to -80 and max value to 0. And the value will start at 0. So we'll just start that all the way at 100%. And then we're going to do the same thing with FX slider. We're going to add a value change thing. We're going to put the FX value in here. And we're going to adjust audio mixer parameter, set audio parameter. And so, again, we need to set this to -80 and 0. There we go. So if we hit play now, in theory, we should have sliders that now affect the volume of our sound effects and the volume of our music. Perfect. So if you've ever set up volume sliders for a game before, you'll probably see already how useful this is. So it's nice that this stuff is built in. It's a little bit weird. You have to right-click some things, and there's some hidden menus and stuff. Maybe that'll get cleaned up at some point. But now that you know, you should be able to use this stuff pretty well. As I said, definitely check out the Unity tutorial videos. They're very succinct. They don't, as I said, they're kind of pre-baked and stuff. They're all ready to go. I do this stuff live. So you can see more what happens when mistakes happen and how to fix them here, but definitely check theirs out. It's very quick. You can go through their videos much faster, so definitely go through. And if you find something cool, share it. Tell people about it. So thank you very much. I'm just going to go ahead and save this. And thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please email me, pushypixels@pushypixels.com. You can also tweet me at Drakfire. That's DRAKFYRE. Please support the show. It is patreon.com/cookingwithunity. Seriously, thank you for your support. It is it's like saving my life right now. So thank you so much. And you guys have a great one. And I will catch you tonight with a new episode of Scape. Hopefully with a Phil in tow. And Jeffrey. We'll have everyone. It's going to be great. Watch it.